On the flex truck today, I've got these vents, which are my favorite vents. They're kind of a replica of a Chevy vent. I think they called it the Mercedes style because it looks like a Mercedes emblem. It's just plastic. There is some companies out there that make some billet ones and nicer ones, but I really haven't had too much trouble with these. As long as you install them nicely, they look great. But the installation on these aftermarket parts is really everything. You know, you can make something look very cheesy and very terrible to something very nice. The way that they do have optioned is just mounting this on the bottom of the dash, and you can hook up your vent, which isn't too bad, but you can kind of see the hose coming through it and different things. Just if I can avoid it. I don't know if I've ever actually used those, to tell you the truth. Then we come to our dash. We could cut something out of the bottom. There is a company that makes, I think they're $300. They make a little bezel that bolts on here that holds this guy. I think I'm gonna do one up on that and actually mount this kind of in this corner on each side of the dash, and I think that'll be really nice when you're in the vehicle. It'll point straight at you. It'll be a nice little deal. I don't know if we're going to be able to do vents in the middle. It might just be these two on the sides, so you know, this will kind of make it count, so to speak. The other thing about doing this in that section is obviously that section is not flat, and this needs a flat surface to mount and attach the back piece. Also on our dash, you'll notice everything has this lip around it, and I'd like to continue that with this piece to make it look more like a factory gig. They didn't start using this vent until the 67, I believe, and it only came in the AC trucks, which also those pockets probably would almost work on this dash too, because they kind of had a add-on pocket for these. Cadillac also had something similar, and it was a really nice heavy metal one. You know, there is options out there of finding, you know, something, but this is what we got, and I think it'll work just fine. So let's see what we can build. All right, for this job, you're gonna need a chunk of the turbo tubing that you had, a half roll of duct tape or quarter roll duct tape, your vent, and the piece that shows you the size. I'm only half kidding. You need something that will give you the diameters that you need. So this one was a nice, just outside the thing. I think I can run my marker around that, and that'll give me the bead roll size. And this will go over it far enough on the outside here to give me the piece that I need to cut out. I'm going to do it in a circle. I don't know if I've ever bead rolled a circle before, but let's see what we can do. I got a piece of metal here. I want to give myself enough room to have a bead roll on here and not have things getting in the way. So we're going to make our circle around our duct tape here. That'll be our cut line. Our circle around here, that will be our bead roll. And then our circle that will be cutting or drilling out here. I might kind of cut this outside. I might kind of give it a little bit of a oblong here because of that corner that we're trying to weld it in into the dash. That'll give us a little bit more room to just kind of fold these down, help keep this flat. I don't know if this is a deep enough bead roll. I think I'll switch them to where this bead is going to come up like it should. Take it down to our tape line here, our adjuster. Not too bad. You can kind of see our, and it actually, was able to go pretty even on the inside of that, so I'm kind of proud of myself on that. You can see our mark here that I was following. Pretty close on that. There's a little bit of a blemish here, let's call it, that we'll have to fix with a hammer and dolly. Not too bad for our first circle. Now, you want to drill this hole. The reason we want to drill this hole now before we cut it out is because it's easier to keep our hands on this thing and keep it from spinning if it's a bigger piece, and it was less chance of it grabbing it or warping it or throwing it or hurting our little fingers. Don't know why that was so difficult. I love it when my tools screw up my work. I'm not sure that I like this because our bevel, you can't really see it too good with our lines and whatnot, is really close to the edge. It's showing around the edge, but it's really close. On the truck, everything is spaced a little bit further around that edge. I'm going to go ahead and cut out this piece on the outside and we'll test fit it and just kind of see how this turned out. I'm not happy about the way the drill ate up the metal too. That's just going to cause more work later. Here's our piece. Oh no, the line isn't terrible. It might have to be that tight just to get this all in here. Let's take our piece out here. So we'll have to tuck that in on top and bottom and keep that center level. Let's see if we can roll those ends. And roll them, I mean just bend the shit out of them. But it's kind of taking shape here. And you know, it might work. You know what? I don't think that's too shitty. I'm gonna clean it up some more. I think that's gonna work. As I always say, when it holds itself in, you're getting pretty close. And I don't think that's gonna be bad. I think after the weld helps curve that into the spot, and I keep cutting out the opening a little more to where these actually go in really flush right now. As per usual, I'm gonna kind of weld it in and work it at the same time. I might need to curve this in a little more before I start though. It's just a hard little piece to work with because you can't really hold it with anything. So that's kind of how I need to carry out the welds to kind of smooth it in a little bit better. And I think it's going to be cool. Got it welded in, took off our glove box door to get a little more room to try to fit a grinder in here. Not exactly sure what I'm going to grind it with, but I'm sure we got a tool for the job here somewhere. Alright, got our welded in, ground down. A little bit of filler will take care of the rest of that. So our vent is rocking in here a little bit. You know, it's gonna warp, it's a hard part to keep straight anyways. So what I want to do is try to get a dolly behind here, kind of flatten it out a little bit. I don't think there's much to argue about that. We'll get it kind of more feathered in with a little filler here. after the sandblasting and all that. And then kind of snow drift this edge a little smoother. It doesn't quite have this line on the other ones. It kind of smooths in and has a line on the inside. And I think we can really replicate that with this. I think there's just enough room back here to get the hose around on it. So I think that's a win. Now we got to do the driver's side to match. Got our piece made and started to be put in. This white line I made here is the glove box edge over there, and so I wanted to put them in the same spot, of course. So I drew the line, I measured out from the side here and measured and marked out my line, and then came in the length that it was, width that it was there. That's how I figured out where it would go. And just like that, this old pickup has state-of-the-art ventilation.
Black and dead, black and blue. The black and down and rocket issue American government issue. Black and dead, black and blue.